everyone. I hope you and your family is safe and happy. Do you want to know why few people suffer more for the same grief? Do you want to understand why it is so? Want to know how to avoid longer grief? I am Dr. Rashmi. Welcome to Fitter Body Leads to Fitter Mind and Happy You. Are you ready for it? The answer to these questions lies in the psychological view of Kopler-Ross. It is also called as Kopler-Ross model or 5 stages of grief. Let's understand what are these 5 stages of grief. Basically, when human beings go through tragedy or a natural disaster or accident or loss of a loved one, they go through 5 stages. These stages are called as Kopler-Ross model. Let's understand what are these 5 stages. First stage is called denial. Second stage is anger. The third stage is bargain. The fourth stage is depression. And the fifth stage is acceptance. So let's understand what each of these stages mean to human and how it is related to human psychology and emotions of a person. The first stage of grief is denial. At any given incident, we try to not believe what you have heard or what is told to you. Let's take an example of a death of a loved ones. So when you hear the news, you continue to believe that what you have heard is not the fact. You will try to find excuses which can help you to deny the news that you have heard. So there's always a disbelief in what you have heard. So here you find excuses not to believe it, or you find excuses or evidences to prove that what you have heard is not truth. So in this denial, what happens is you are not willing to accept what is being heard or seen by you many times. So this can also happen with the natural disasters as well. When you hear the news of earthquake that has happened, then you keep finding evidences or excuses to say that no, it can never happen in India because the earth is made in our country differently. The current scenario, if you let's take an example of Corona. When we heard that this kind of a pandemic is coming in different countries and it is also entering India, we went on denying that it cannot come to India because the temperature is so high and our immunity is so high, or it cannot affect Indians, or it cannot survive in a temperature like this. So these are the simple excuses that we went on giving ourselves to accept the fact that we can also be hit by pandemic. Sets into your mind and you start accept it, then you move on from a denial stage to the anger stage. So anger is the second stage of grief. So here what happens, you are upset because it has affected your routine of daily life. So when the person recognizes that denial mode cannot be continued, then the person start getting frustrated and they start showing their anger to people around them. So here what happens, the psychological condition of a person who is in this anger phase would be, why me? It's not fair. How can this happen to me? And who is to be blamed for all this? Why would this happen? So these are the questions the person going through this anger phase will be asking consistently to themselves. And so for example, when a natural disaster hits you, then what happens? Your life routine is upset, then you have loss of income, then it has affected your normal life cycle altogether. So this was all, in case of corona, it affected you because of the lockdown. So where people are disturbed by their routine and they had loss of income and they had disturbed normal life cycle. So the person gets angry over the condition because he is no longer able to deny that it has not affected them, because they are already seeing losses because of the corona. So this builds the frustration in the person and they start throwing their anger around the people. Then third phase of grief is bargain. So here what happens, the person realizes that he can no longer deny the fact that what is happening, nor he can, now, and he also understands that anger is not helping him or benefiting him in any way. So that's when they move on to the next stage, that is bargain. So here what the person does is he has that hope that something he can exchange to that and fight the condition. They try to bargain with the grief in exchange of a reform lifestyle. Let's say if a person is suffering of a disease, then they'll say, okay, I will have a good or reformed healthy lifestyle now, so let me come out of that grief or make me better with whatever disease that I am going through. So this way they try to bargain or negotiate with the condition. So they can no longer deny it, they can no longer get angry and get any benefit out of it. So they start bargaining. Like, if an elderly person who is in the deathbed, they'll see, they might bargain saying, okay, so let me attend my grandchild's wedding. So they start negotiating with even with the god. So that way, okay, I'll have a good healthy lifestyle, let me leave till she gets married or my child gets married. So when it comes to corona, the person might say, okay, this corona is going to spare fitter people or a healthy ones, so let me bargain and keep my lifestyle healthy so that I am spared by the corona. So these are some of the bargaining strategies that we have seen over the couple of days. People also started, bargaining, saying, okay, we are going to get vaccination faster to cure this corona. So with fitter body and mind, and also having a curable disease, we are all spared. So this is the third stage of the grief that we psychologically and emotionally try to deal with the. Thank you for listening. Keep smiling. Take care of yourself.